Okay, so today got a few errors that we need to fix that are problematic. And our main area of focus is this thing right here. Currently, when this code runs in here, which is the main process function for the player, it doesn't allow for a double jump, which is bad because that's not what it's supposed to do. However, I believe the the coyote timer is also not working. Just wonderful. Double crouching. Okay. So let's try to fix that. Let's remember what our important booleans are. So we have coyote timer. That is just a timer. We have the time running. We have an error action, which is by default set to false. And those are about the only things that we need to know, other than the jump component has a jump, and we decide how that is by giving the inputs. Right, so first off, thing that must exist. If if is on for colon jump component dot jump with our vector, which is I forget which one it was. Uh, vector 2. So because it's a vector 2, we need to actually specify it as vector 2. This will be jump velocity y. This will be speed times input direction. Yes, that was what it was. So this is our just standard jump call. Okay. If they're on the floor, automatically jump. Sorry, that is wrong. So input dot is action just pressed jump. Now, should this be changed? Probably. This is a thing that it could be as well. Where's the extra brackets to make it multi-line? And so now I can press up or the jump button to jump. I'll have to decide between those how I want it to be. Additionally, I should be able to jump, and this feels more natural having jump on up versus spacebar retreat bars. Another finger. There. So that's just jumping. Now, if can air action one, if can air action, and wait a second, this can be an or. That just makes it readable. I was like separate condition checks. And then put dot action press. Maybe you should have a variable here that's like var jump. I guess this is a notation I can have. So now we should theoretically be able to double jump, which is not happening. So if is for on can air action jump equals true, and in this statement it should be false. Okay, double jump. That's infinite jumps, which is bad because this is not saying false. Okay, and retry. Change that to an elif because I'm not gonna have them do both in the same frame unless they press it that fast. And even then, that means it's gonna be one frame before they get the double jump, which is fine. Okay. That is double jump. Now, what we want next is from here to have the ability to double jump after walking slightly off of an edge. Right now I have most of them being circles, which is a different thing. No problem. So for the jump, we need it to start a timer when they get just immediately are off the floor. So elif You want to check if they're on the floor or not, and if it's false, so let's do that here because if we do it afterwards, it's going to be so. If it's not able to, so if they are not on the floor, so if they are on the floor, do this, else, which is the only other possibility, they will not be on the floor. This should be the second check, so if, you know, there, if again, because I'm going to need one for the timer, so if timer, quality timer dot is stopped, enter. So if they are not on the ground and the timer is stopped, we're going to let this start the timer. Problem with this is that if it starts the timer, it will continue the timer. Let's ask a little bit of AI. It should be logged in. Okay. You should give it the information that it needs. So I'm trying to get the cyote timer to work in this, and then we can add that this code for go dot for so we can tell it to take a look. I made it on the side last time. Alright. So if it's on the floor, can action coyote timer dot stop. If they press jump, then jump. Else, if they start the timer, I think you should copy my code here. Okay, so yada yada. So it has its own things. Uh, velocity, move speed, tire length, on ready jump component. Yeah, this stuff is just assuming. On coyote timer, timeout. Can air action jump? No. I believe I do have something like this though, however, in the other one. This is actually something we might want to take a look at. Timer dot one shot. That's a thing I'm not familiar with. Okay. Let's go to Godot and type in somewhere timer one shot. One shot and see what this is. Oh, it should be one shot. We could also just tell it to stop and start. Okay, so what it's telling us is it wants a variable for timer expired, essentially, for coyote timer expired. Then, because I'm actually insane, I'm going to put the function here for timeout. So I hate that I can't do that. Coyote timer timeout. Load timeout. Okay. Gonna copy name, delete the extra, and place it up here. Is this the right way to do it? Well, it's the first time I need to use a signal in a while, so we're gonna just use the signal. It's not like I have a reference where I can automatically connect it in the ready function. Oh wait, I absolutely could. Hmm. Now that we have a check for if the timer is stopped, let's return to the jump function. So if they are not on the floor, we want to make a check with the timer. So if coyote timer dot is stopped and coyote timer expired equals false, colon, and timer should be able to start. Oh, this is a constant. Why the hell is it not capitalized? So if it's stopped and the timer is expired, has not expired yet, then they can jump. Gonna check in both, so I might as well just have it here. So if it's on the floor, if the player's on the floor, then they can double jump because it should be reset for when they do double jump. Then coyote timer dot expired. So if they're not on the floor, check if they are on in the air, but the coyote timer has not expired. Then we can say this same condition, but if jump colon then jump. And this thing does not stop equals false. So the timer is not expired and the timer is not stopped. Well, this doesn't start then. So maybe we don't need to check that. If the timer stop, yeah, okay, and then if it stopped, start the timer, then if jump, then allow the player to jump. Okay, and then if they can air jump and air action, then they can jump. Okay, let's test this. So jump, double jump works. Then on the floor, that was on the floor. That is not a coyote timer. Jump. Put this for 1 second. Running. Down there. First off, I never actually said when this should expire, except pinging a signal. Okay. Did I ever set when it is false? No. Because I don't think we start on the ground. Yeah, no, okay. That's a coyote jump. That's a coyote jump. That's coyote jumping. Because we can jump twice. Okay. Changes the time back to timer dot length to really emphasize that it's not a short thing. Okay. Hmm. So did AI. This works. Um, can it be better? Also, I made a signal for this that affects the expired boolean and the timer is stopped. Um, I forgot to send the code. So another thing about AI, wanting it, that is always important. Never use it to just do your work for you. And additionally, don't send it in to their system unless you're actually willing to let your data and stuff get copied. Mm. Okay, so you say the timer to stop on the floor. Did you change? Oh, this is actually important. Yeah, we should do that. Um, Consider moving multi-coyote jumps during your turn iteration. This intended behavior. Separated logic flows more clearly in ground jumps, coyote jumps, air jumps. That makes sense. So let's actually comment those in. So ground jump, coyote jump, air jump. Additionally, so I think it also compressed some of the stuff. No, it actually did not, but it did spread this out. So first off, this call is redundant. Second, if they're on the floor, I should just say the expired is true. If it said, because if it wasn't, they could jump in the air on a coyote jump, accidentally getting a triple jump, which if I save, I could probably show this with like 1 second here. Maybe two. So we go here, 1, 2, 3, yep, which is more than we wanted, or even infinity. Yeah, no, that's actually a big, big problem. So if we put this here, run the scene, should only be able to get 2 jumps again, maybe 3 because of the timer being rigged. Oh, okay. Hold up. This should also expire the timer. Let me check it out. It says false. That's another problem. Yeah, I also have more things. I'd also stop the timer as well, which, yeah, that makes sense. I could just call timeout. Uh, Timeout dot emit. As it stops and expires. Hmm. So if they're on the floor, they can double jump. Their timer is not expired anymore. Then if they jump, expire their timer. Yeah, I think just expiring the timer is enough. We don't need to have a signal. So expire the timer, and once this happens, then we can jump. Where the heck did the number go, which is length? No. So, 2 jumps. Can't tell if it's such an brother. Which means let's increase this to 1 second. So I can check. Okay, it only has 2 jumps, which is good. So those are the conditions. Now, is this good? Is this bad? I don't know. I don't really know if I like this. I think my other code, which if I just start going through, is pretty similar. Scripts, player. So let's check first off the properties. So okay, this was just dumb. Or I don't like it anymore. Okay. So this one only has a double jump, so double jump is probably the only condition. Um, Flip self sprite now. I'll climb. I'll climb. What the heck? Yeah, that watch just had a lot of stuff. Gravity, side movement, and a jump logic. Okay. If they're on the floor, they can jump. That's relevant to double jumping. If the timer is stopped and they can either wall jump or jump, then start the timer. And if they can jump and they press jump, jump. If they can wall jump and press jump, pick velocity and then roll over the wall. Which, then if they can jump and if only if they can jump and they're not on the ground is buffered. Input is actually just for this jump. Velocity. Why? So input action just jump. Jump buffer. Do I have a second check? So this is just like after everything else. You buffer. Okay. So that's about it. This is our new coyote timer. Or new jump function. That handles not an insignificant amount, but enough to be like, yeah, that's not insignificant. Because the coyote timer is player specific. Other things can just like jump using other methods. this can be used for later in a different thing when I want to fix and optimize the input manager, which AI had also helped with, which is over here. No, no, not that. No, no, it's still not that one. This one. Yeah, so it made some code too. We replaced these states with these. I'm gonna have notation for it, which I like to call already called, and it's just underscore the once again, sad statistics and industry.